In 2026, the quiet country is gone. The Reserve Bank is about to hit you with an interest rate rake pull right when you least expect it, creating an investor panic across the housing market. A digital ID revolt will spark a nationwide lockout day for thousands of angry citizens. The Great Barrier Reef sees a miracle breakthrough, but the Moonray Darling is about to face a toxic catastrophe that goes viral. And finally, a UFO sighting in the Nullarbor caught on a Truckie's dashcam. These aren't possibilities. They are the Psychics General 2026 predictions for Australia. You need to know what is coming. Hello lovely people, if you think the worst is over for Australia, you are wrong. The spirit world is showing me a specific timeline in Australia for 2026, and it is not what the news is telling you. I see a rock pool coming in February 2026 that will shock every homeowner in Australia. I am seeing also a water event that returns to the East Coast. And I'm also seeing a digital lock that will change how you spend your own money. Today, I have specific psychic predictions for Australia. We are going to cover the housing market crash, the political scandals, and then the strange new energy rising from the land itself. You need to be prepared. Let's begin with Chapter 1, The Great Squeeze. This is the money squeeze, or I call it the great squeeze. First, let's talk about your wallet because 2026 is going to hurt before it gets better. I'm seeing an interest rate shock that is going to be happening in February of 2026. Right now, everyone thinks interest rates will go down. The Reserve Bank of Australia will raise them one last time in February of 2026. This surprise hike will panic home buyers in Sydney and cause a short, sharp drop in housing prices. I'm also seeing like a rent panic in April of 2026 in Australia. I'm seeing something to do with like the Green Party will try to pass like a law to freeze rent prices across the country. This won't pass. I see that it's going to pass, but just the idea of it will actually scare landlords in Brisbane or Melbourne into selling their houses. That is what I see happening, making it even harder to find a place to rent. That is what I see happening. I know the system is tightening in 2026. Wealth won't come from hard work, it will come from intuition. This is why I use a specific 7-minute wealth rituals every morning. This is just to clear my poverty fog and keep my vibration very, very high. I will put a link of this into the video description. It can help you support your energy and stuff like that, and if you buy it as well, it helps support the channel a lot. It's an affiliate link. It is not an extra cost to you, but it helps support the channel. Let's get back to the prediction. I'm seeing also like a cashless crash. I don't know, somewhere in December of 2026. I'm seeing that something on a Tuesday in December 2026 where a major bank's computer crashes for 2 whole days, like 48 hours. The card, like your card won't work. This will make everyone start carrying like real cash again. So if from now going on, just keep maybe some small piece of real cash with you, because it's going to make things easy going forward. It's not everything has to be real cash, but keep a little bit on yourself. It's going to help as well. I'm seeing a supermarket split in Australia. I'm seeing the timeline as in June of 2026. I'm seeing like a big government report will suggest breaking up the coast, and then something about monopoly or something in that regards. I'm seeing that their stocks prices will drop overnight. There's going to be a huge drop in their stock prices overnight, which could be the chance for smart investors to buy very cheap. That is what I see happening in that regards. I'm seeing that Gold Coast is going to actually boom, while Sydney and Melbourne house prices actually cool down. I'm seeing that the Gold Coast will boom. People will move north to escape the wet, cold weather in the south. I see something like that actually happening. I'm also seeing something with lithium. Lithiums. I don't know. It's like lithium's big comes back or something in that regards in September somewhere in 2026. I'm seeing that lithium mining will have a massive comeback in late of 2026. I'm seeing the timeline as September. I'm seeing that US car company will announce, a specific US car company will announce a new super battery that needs Australian minerals. I know Australia will be a very big part in terms of minerals in Australia. That is what I'm seeing. And I'm seeing that they are going to be spending a lot, like this, like stock prices for that kind of mineral will soar, will go very high in that regards. And I'm also seeing that Elon Musk will do something with Australia. I don't know what it is, but I think something to have to do with space that is going to be happening. I'm also seeing that crypto moving day. I'm seeing something crypto moving day for November 2026. I'm seeing that Australia will make a new strict rules for crypto. Because of this, many Australian crypto companies will pack up and move their headquarters to Singapore or Dubai. That is what I see happening in that regards. Let's move on to chapter 2, where I will talk about politics and stuff like that. You know, as money gets tightened, people get angry. This brings to us to some of the biggest predictions that I will make for this political stuff. I'm picking something for digital ID. I'm saying that there's going to be like a digital ID protest that is going to be in some of this timeline will not be accurate, but I want to put like a uniqueness to my prediction where I'm putting timelines to that. I vibrate on a very high level, and I'm seeing this in July of 2026. I'm seeing that the government will try to force like everyone to link their social medias to a digital ID, and I'm seeing that young youth will actually hate this. They will, let us expect like a huge protest in Melbourne and Sydney where millions of people log off the internet for a day to fight back onto this digital ID that is going to be happening. I'm also seeing like there's going to be like a census crisis that is going to be happening. And I'm seeing the timeline and as August of 2026. I'm seeing something like the 2026 census numbers will come out and it will show a shock. It looks like 45 of like Australians will say they have no religion. That is what I'm seeing happening. This will start a huge argument about whether the government should stop funding religious schools. This is what I see happening in Australia based on the census that is going to be happening. I'm also seeing like the Teal party breakup. There's going to be like a breakup in the Teal party, and I'm seeing this for March 2026. I'm seeing that the independent politicians that are known as the Teals will have a big fight. One famous member will vote against others on an energy bill. That is what I see happening. I think this energy bill will be held hostage for somewhere like 3 weeks. That is what I see happening. And the group will start to fall apart. That is what I see happening in that regards. I'm saying also like a tax something for a truck. It's like the truck tax war, something in that regards. This is going to be happening in April of 2026, where I see that the government will try to put luxurious tax on big American pickup trucks like Rams and then Silverdores or something like that. Owners will be furious and block the Sydney Harbour Bridge with a truck in protest. That is what I see happening. They are going to be blocking it with their trucks as a protest that is going to be happening. I'm also seeing like there's going to be a surprise resignation in August of 2026. I'm simplifying this for you to be able to understand. Like I'm seeing a surprise resignation happening. I'm seeing like a top government minister will suddenly quit, saying it is for health reasons. But I see that rumors will actually spread that they have actually quit because of secret conflict of interest with a big construction company. That is what I actually see happening. I wanted to mention the name. I think I don't know. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to mention the name. Let me pick something out as well. I'm picking something for Tasmania. I'm saying that Tasmania will hold like a budget hostage. I see this like a budget hostage will be held somewhere in May of 2026. I'm seeing like a senator from Tasmania will refuse to sign like a federal budget for like 3 weeks. That is what I see happening. They will, I think that like they will hold that thing kind of hostage based on the fact that the government has made some promises about funding for new stadium or a ferry in Harbot or something like that. That is what I see happening. That this bill is going to be held up based on that. I'm also seeing a republic like rumors. I'm seeing a rumors like I'm seeing it in regards to the prime minister will announce a plan to make Australian Republic again. Something in that regards, like they are planning to make Australia Republic again. It is not a vote. It's not going to be like a vote yet, but there's going to be talks about it that is going to circulate in the news in that regards. That is what I see happening. Let me move on to my next chapter. I don't know what chapter I am. I think I'm in chapter 3 or something like that. I'll talk about the weather, I'll talk about earth, I'll talk about fire in this chapter. While politicians fight, the land itself is going to be going through some kind of changes and stuff like that. I'm seeing something like La Nina. I think, I don't know, La Nina. I'm seeing something like La Nina returning back. I'm seeing like heavy rains are going to come back. I'm seeing this for northern of New South Wales, where they call it the NSW or something like that, and Queensland. I'm seeing this for Queensland. There's going to be like a massive flood again, but this time it's going to be in towns that miss the previous flood that happened in um 2022, something in that is what I'm picking up, that flood is going to come again. I'm seeing 4 years apart, so it's going to be something that happened in 2022 will repeat itself in 2026, and this is going to be for areas that were not involved in the 2022 flood. I'm seeing something for green energy scandal. I'm seeing this in mid 2026. I'm seeing that it's going to be a huge solar or a wind project in Queensland. This will actually fail because money went missing or rules were ignored, something in that regards. And this is going to be a very big embarrassment for the government. This is what I see actually happening. I'm also seeing like I'm seeing a disaster on a specific river in terms of fishes are laying dead on a specific river. I'll term it as the river fish disaster. That is what I see. I'm seeing this happening in March of 2026, where a lot of fishes. I'm seeing it for Meridian, like something like that. Lakes will kill a lot of millions of fishes, where videos will circulate, where dead fishes go viral around the world, and people will demand answers about water management. That is what I actually see for that region, that specific thing. I'm also seeing like a comeback miracle, something in November of 2026. There's going to be good news about the Great Barrier Reef. Scientists will find a patch they'll find a patch or something that is going to be growing fast and surviving the heat. That is what I see happening. It will be like a real happy story for the climate. Something in that regards to do with the Great Barrier Reef. That is what I'm seeing happening. I'm also seeing there's going to be like a big freeze. A big freeze is coming in July of 2026. I'm seeing like a freezing blast from the Antarctic will happen, where it will bring snow to places that are really rare, or like blue mountainous areas. That is what I'm seeing. And even maybe the suburbs of Canberra. That is what I'm seeing. And then this will lead to flight cancellation for 48 hours. There's going to be flight cancellation for 48 hours or 2 weeks. That's what I see. I'm picking something for an airport. I'm seeing that an airport open, but there's going to be like baggage failures or stolen baggage. I'm seeing this happening for November of 2026, where the new Western Sydney Airport will open, but in the first week of operation, I see that thousands of bags will get lost. The paper will make, like news is going to make jokes calling it like baggage creep or something like that. They will have a name for it. Like I'm seeing a baggage creep, something in that regards is going to be happening. Let me stop there and move to chapter, I think maybe chapter 4. Let's talk about something weird trending stories that is going to happen in Australia. So I'm saying that the UFO in the desert. I'm seeing UFO in the desert. I'm seeing that this is going to be happening somewhere in September of 2026. Don't quote me on those dates, but I'm seeing that a truck driver crossing the Nalabo something plane will catch a strange light on his dash cam. That is what I see happening. And I'm seeing that the weatherman won't be able to explain it, and everyone will be talking about aliens for a month. That is what I see happening. They will be associating that experience to something to do with aliens and stuff like that. That is what I see happening. I'm seeing something like a bin chicken. It's like a movie. They'll have a movie where there's going to be like bin chicken in it. It's going to be like animated movie that is going to be happening. Bin chicken. I'm seeing the name like LBIS, something in that regards. This is going to come out and it's going to be a huge hit. Sadly, everybody is going to be loving those type of bears that is going to be in that animated in that movie. In that regards, it's going to be a very big hit. That is what I see happening. I'm also seeing that there's going to be weed killing by robots in Australia. This is going to be happening somewhere in September of 2026. I'm seeing the Brisbane company that is going to use AI robots to kill weeds without any poison. This will be sold to US giants for $2 billion. That is what I see happening. They are going to create something in that regards. I'm seeing something in kind of like a fashion thing that is going to be happening. The color is going to be like butter yellow. Where this is going to be for summer 2026 in Australia, where you will see people will be dressing in butter yellow. They will have their cars painted butter yellow. Pillow everywhere is going to be yellow, yellow, yellow. That is going to be happening in Australia. That is what I see happening. I'm also seeing someone is Eddie Sheeran or something. It's Eddie Sheeran boots. This is going to be happening in February of 2026, where Eddie Sheeran will do a shoey drinking for a boot company on stage. He will use like a specific uh, OC boot brand that will make sales triple overnight. There's going to be sales that is going to be triple overnight based on what he's going to be doing. I'm seeing something also in terms of Alzheimer's, that sickness, that kind of disease or that deficiency or disorder is going to happen in scientists in Melbourne will actually discover a simple blood test that can spot Alzheimer's early. That's early detection is going to be happening in Australia. This will be the best thing that they are going to be having in news in that year of 2026. Let's move on to chapter 5, where I'll pick up on something about sports and stuff in that regards. I'm seeing something to do with the Ashes I don't know if they have something called the Ashes. I'm saying this for January 2026, that the cricket series against England will end in a tie, but the big story will be an accusation that one team used AI to steal, secret signals. It will be like a huge scandal. That is what I see happening, and I think the scores are going to be like 2-2 or in that something like that, but it's going to be a tie. And I'm also seeing that there's going to be a new soccer star in late 2026. It's like a 16-year-old girl will start playing for their team or something like that. I'm seeing like Maltidals or something, and scored 3 goals in one game against a top European team. She will be the new hero of the Australian sports. I think Australia, they have a name, they call it the is something like that, Australian sports. I'm also seeing something in rugby league, where the rugby league, here we call it the NFL. There they call it the NRL or something. Will announce a new 19th team, but it won't be something. It won't be like the popular ones. I think I'm seeing something for Perth Bears. Like everyone thinks, but it's going to be rumors of being the team from another one is called Papoose, or if someone is in Australia and they can tell me Papoose New Guinea or something in that regard. That's what I'm seeing. I'm also seeing like a Cinderella story in the AFL Grand Finals. A team that hasn't been good for years likely is going to be maybe the Gold Coast Suns, or I think another name is, I'm seeing it start with an F, Fermental or something, will finally make it to the big game. That is what I see happening. I'm also picking something for the Commonwealth game. I think there's going to be, I think since, you know, the 2026 Commonwealth Games were cancelled, and Victoria, I'm seeing that something like Pent, or another name is something, it start with an A, will step in and host some swimming or cycling event, so that like athletes can still compete at home. Something in that regards. That is what I see happening. Let me pick up on my last prediction, then I can sign off. I'm seeing that I'm seeing school shut down. I think that after a wild 2025, the government will put strict curfew on schools parties on the Gold Coast. That's what I see happening. This will basically be an event as we know of it. That is what I pick up in that regards. This will be my prediction for Australia for 2026. If you like the video, kindly like, subscribe, and also don't forget to turn on your notification bell. There is a reason why I didn't combine New Zealand to Australia. You have to wait to listen to what I have for New Zealand, and it is going to shock you. Thank you guys for watching.